My favorite audio equipment ranges rather widely. I tend to use a lot of different manufacturers on my shows, even on one show, not just across shows. So, I mean, it's a long list of favorites for me. Everything from the Digico consoles, which I use on most of my big musicals, to loudspeaker systems by all the majors, basically. Meyer, L Acoustics, D&B, EAW. There's sort of nobody who isn't, in my world, isn't worth listening to. And depending on the project, I'll mix and match. I've been accused of having a hodgepodge of loudspeakers on my shows. When you come see one of my shows, you're sort of amazed at the kind of range of manufacturers that are represented when you look at the speaker systems. And maybe we'll see that later, actually, at Hamilton, because that's a perfect example of a show that has a lot of different loudspeaker manufacturers on it. Yeah, I tend to kind of range pretty far and wide, and I love finding new gear. I love finding new equipment that's, sometimes it's what I like to call a solution in search of a problem. I'll go to trade shows, I'll read the trades, I'll listen to manufacturers' demos. I like to absorb all of that information. I may not immediately rush out and tell somebody to buy it and use it on a show, but all of that information is good information to have. Again, living with a certain amount of discomfort of having too much data and then making a decision later about this is a direction I want to go and something I want to try, and having the right sort of situation in which to try it. Like the affinity between the material in a particular show and the venue and the time we have to test something and the people who I have with me to work on it, where all of those ingredients are in place, where we can get the most out of that experience of something new. So I go pretty far and wide for new gear. Yeah. And there's always something new and always something more, and something you might have seen, for me, something I might have seen 6 months ago or even a year ago, or talked to a manufacturer about, 18 months ago, will kind of haunt me. And I'll be sort of just grinding on it, thinking, oh, there's a reason why I know about this and why it keeps coming back. It isn't this, but there's going to be a show where it's the right thing. Or, so I'm always on the hunt. Sennheiser plays a big role in my daily life as a sound designer on Broadway. All my shows use Sennheiser, and have done since I started in the business, actually, in the 90s. I don't think I've ever done a show that hasn't used some Sennheiser wireless on it, and it continues to be an important part of the toolkit for every show I do. Recently, as last season, I did a show called Bright Star on Broadway, which was short-lived, but again, another example of like a success, I think, even for a show that didn't succeed, where we were able to use the new digital 9000 series wireless from Sennheiser. And it was a huge success in terms of bang for your buck, and also the right tool for the job. I just felt very happy that we had that I had done some good research beforehand, and that where we put them on the right show in the right situation with the right people. And it was unqualified success.